Hi, I'm Ajoy. From what they said social media is very young. I'm glad that lots of youngsters, especially towards the back, so you probably get it more than most of us do here in terms of what social media is and what you can do with it. And the most critical part, as I see it, is that it's here to stay and it is becoming a larger and larger part of our lives. And given what's happening with connectivity, today we are, whether it's, talked about ATL, BTL, we are always connected with our mobile phones and tablets and so on. I think increasingly two things that I see happening. One part of it is that when it comes to communication, instead of looking at, traditionally look at it in terms of this is my campaign, this is my marketing campaign, there's a digital adjunct to it. I think that is going to change. I think digital is going to become very largely the centerpiece of what we're talking about in terms of communication campaign, and then build the other pieces around it. That's one. The second, as I see it, is the way it's going to transform, or it needs to transform organizations, because the touch points are very different. The third part, as I see it, is in terms of what organizations therefore need to do to be able to ride this wave. It's got its, like anything else, it's got its pluses, it's got its negatives. So you've got to figure out how to use it, what to do with it. And I'd say, lastly, a couple of examples, couple of very interesting, intuitive ways in which very, very small retailers, small businesses have used the power of what social media and the internet can do to use this kind of, this phenomenon of forest fires to grow exponentially, which would never have happened if it looked at traditional media. So there are a couple of thoughts and points that maybe we'll just talk about it.
I think I'll just add to what everyone said. The truth is we're living in a digital world now, and the big difference between the physical and the digital world is that in the physical world we used to talk to individuals, FaceTime was critical, now you talk to communities, and the moment you talk to communities you communicate faster and you communicate to a much, much larger set of people. So we've always had consumerism, we've always had fires, but I think there used to be bonfires, now there are forest fires. We used to have arranged marriages, now you can date 1 million people on the net at the same time. The situation has kind of changed because of the power of a digital mode in which we live. It's just how we use it, and one example of that is each one of us who travel actually check out hotels and destinations and check out what the others are saying about that hotel. And the ones who use it, very seldom will you travel if you see negative blogs on either the destination or the location. So it works beautifully. It's the quickest way to recruit a consumer, it's the quickest way to communicate something positive about what you're selling or sharing. The downside is that once you blog negative, it doesn't disappear, it sits. You can't do a delete on it. So I guess it's a forest fire because it works both ways, more in the positive than in the negative. But it's the age in which we are living. It's literally what is called the 6 degrees of separation. So it's the new age, it's the correct age of communications, which no brand, no company can do without today.
Again, adding to the same thing, earlier we used to, digitalization was a distant future, today it's right there. And earlier when we made a complaint, we called up an office and we hoped that somebody would reply to our, let's say, query or mail, and probably go to the closest temple and wish ke koi aa jaye, time pe aa jaye, but nobody would come. But now what we've done at Sirius today is we've created an online portal to deal with each and every kind of forest fire, whether it is retail, whether it is malls, whether it is consumer-centric, basically getting everybody on the digital platform, using it in a positive way, not in a negative way. Yes, today your brand manager is not the person who's sitting in your swanky office, he's not the IIM graduate, it's actually your call center operator who has probably said the right thing or the wrong thing, but that is where the vigilance happens. And based on that, the whole company can be demarcated in a certain way. A negative tweet, like Sandeep said, can gain a lot of momentum, because we always see that negativity, you talk about one complaint, you have 30 people jump in and say the same thing, that we got the same thing. But building up a good brand is also very difficult. I won't say forest fires catch on very easily. Your product has to be able to define it. Yes, a person can give a reference, but it will only happen if your product or your mall or your property is good. Based on that, I just want to give a little presentation, if it's okay. Forest fires, what do they say? They say everybody wants to be cared for, loved for. I think today we can really talk about it, everyone. Valentine's Day is the biggest forest fire. We at Sirius started Value Cloud saying we care about your brand, we care about the people. We care about telling basically a lot of direct marketing, company providing a lot of engagement models between merchants and consumers, ensuring continuous value for both, not only one person, not only for the retailer, not only for the consumer. It has to be both sides. Knowing and engaging your customer and preventing the forest fires, deliver the right message to the right consumer at the right time. We provide a retail-centric loyalty program to assist retailers, customer acquisition and retention. It's not only about your aspirational consumer coming and saying, I want to shop at a big bazaar, I want to go to a lifestyle. Here we are telling you that, come shop at a big bazaar, come shop at a Shoppers Stop, but your reward could be a Burberry t-shirt, it could be a Louis Vuitton bag. So that is how we are targeting both sides, making them feel equally important. Definitely it's not always that. The rewards can be hospitality, it could be restaurant vouchers, it could be everything. But we're trying to link each and every retailer who probably cannot get onto it. The big boys of the industry can, but the smaller guys are always very apprehensive. For them, it's always give an ad, give a leaflet, maybe it will reach the consumer, maybe they will come back. Today, we heard Tara talk about TT, traditional marketing ways. Everybody wants that. But at the larger platform, at the mall's platform, it doesn't really work. So how does it work? It works when you give them a loyalty card. It works when you actually tell them that, look, you're a consumer, we're not only looking at acquisition, we're giving you, like what Ravi said, we're giving you the rewards. And we're not giving you rewards for one store or two stores, we're combining the whole platform. It could be, like I said, a whole mall is the best example. It could be airline vouchers. It could all be very well integrated for that particular property. Comprehensively outsource marketing solutions, assisting retailers in customer acquisition, retention and engagement. Reward programs for members with exclusive access to world of privileges. We're targeting two sectors. We're not demarcating them, but we're just segregating them. A luxury retail customer, because obviously we all want to be felt important, and the premium retail customer who's aspiring to be the luxury retail customer. Marketing programs, we are on WM, digital campaigns, specific communications, special events integrated with retail environment. So basically telling everybody that, look, there is a popsicle, there is everything else, but yes, come to our store, we are giving you the traditional environment where we will make you sit on that higher stool and we will give you that extra importance. Maybe the brand itself, because they have 2 or 3 outlets, can't do it. A hypermarket is a very, very different segment. Today, when we're talking about a hypermarket, they tell you it's all stacked, come choose. I'm not going to name a company, but there was a very huge company and they were one of the best, by the way, and they launched in a 2-tier city and they called us because they messed up their prototype. The simple thing was, there were a list of TV on the display and the gentleman said, you know what happened? I said, there were no plug points. He said, how did you guess? I said, because common sense is not common anymore. Everybody knows what needs to be done, it just doesn't happen when we go into systems, OS, all that sounds very nice, but it really doesn't happen. At the end of the day, your retailer is looking at customers, loyalty, it's all about sales, but the consumer is looking about rewards, awards, and that's what we say at Value Cloud or at Sirius, that we're caring for you, we're caring at both ends. We're not only working to generate that extra buck, we're saying, come, enjoy it, we'll give you that extra preference. So what if your retailer is too busy, maybe he's too big, maybe he's too small. But here we're treating pretty much everyone the same way. And once we give out a loyalty card, it becomes very different because the person knows, and we can then track them, what is their preference. Maybe the person wants to buy everything out of Big Bazaar. Maybe he says that, you know what, 5 things I'm going to buy out of Big Bazaar, 1 thing maybe I want to buy a lifestyle. Somebody might be, I want to buy 5 things at a lifestyle, maybe 1 thing I want to buy at Louis Vuitton. So we're targeting the aspiration of the Indian community. Digitally, because like everyone said, it is the future and we can't hide from it or run from it. So we just have to incorporate it, but still I beg to differ over there, saying that we are on mobile phones, but we're not on smartphones. We are a country which is still learning. We have a lot of people from 16 to 35 who are there, but then there are a lot of people who don't even want to use it. Your traditional housewife just uses a mobile phone to call her children or her husband. She does not see it, how many apps she's getting, how many this she's getting, and she, mind you, is actually the real buyer, because she is budgeting for each and every amount, whether it's a husband's requirement or whether it's a children's requirement.